Hi, my name's Zach Hall, and this is the beginning of my video series, 5th Edition Dungeon Master Learns Pathfinder 2nd Edition. I've been running 5th Edition games out of my home for friends and family now for the past 3 years, running both published adventures from Wizards of the Coast and a few of my own homebrew campaigns. I've also published several pieces of homebrew on D&D Beyond with thousands of views. So why am I doing this? First, I want to learn Pathfinder. I really enjoyed D&D 5th edition, and it's the most popular tabletop role-playing game for a reason. But as I've gotten really comfortable with the system, I've had a strong desire for more character options. Wizards of the Coast has been slow to introduce major character option additions, with only one official class being added since the original Player's Handbook was introduced. Instead, opting to release subclasses that don't add the level of new mechanics or flavor that I'm really interested in. Pathfinder 1st Edition was the most popular version of our favorite game until 5th Edition released. And the new edition of Pathfinder was just released summer of 2019. This seems like the perfect time for me to go through the core rulebook, start to understand the key differences between D&D 5th Edition and Pathfinder 2nd Edition. To be clear, I'm still going to be running 5th Edition games. I like the system a lot. This is just an opportunity to add a new game to my repertoire and potentially bring aspects of both Pathfinder and D&D to my games. So what is Pathfinder and why is it different? D&D and Pathfinder officially diverged in 2007 after the D&D publisher Wizards of the Coast announced that 4th edition of Dungeons & Dragons was not going to be published under the open gaming license like 3rd edition was previously. 3rd edition under the Open Games license is what allowed the Pathfinder publisher, Paizo, to release their own 3rd and 3.5 compatible material. So instead of moving to 4th edition, Paizo decided to release their own game called Pathfinder in 2009. And for the next decade, they released a shit ton of material for that game. 10 years later, Paizo releases 2nd edition, and that's the game that I'm going to be looking at in this series. So what do I expect to see when I read 2nd edition? I expect to see familiar terms like the main 6 attributes and their modifiers, see the same dice that we roll in Dungeons & Dragons, many of the same races, and probably a lot of overlap in the classes. I also expect to see some killer art, some really out there monsters, and probably some more math when building out characters for the first time. What I don't expect to see is any setting-related stuff comparisons. Faerun and the Forgotten Realms is officially Wizards of the Coast product, not available for anybody else to publish or use. Paizo has their own campaign setting that I'm excited to learn about and hopefully get an idea of while going through the core rulebook. But we might end up having to delve into some other sources to really learn about the campaign setting. So that's it. That's me and what this video series was about. Coming up, I'm going to be doing my very first look through the core rulebook of Pathfinder 2nd Edition to try to see what first jumps out at me. And then after that, we're going to try to create a very first character. Thanks for tuning in.